For about 2 weeks, thousands of migrants, refugees, and asylum seekers fleeing Central America have joined a now well-known caravan, making its way north through Mexico toward the U.S. border. It's become a focus of President Trump as he seeks to restrict the caravan's progress. Many of these travelers are escaping violence and poverty. And as Foreign Affairs correspondent Nick Schifrin reports, their journeys are long and difficult.
Every night, they come together, feeling safer in a large group, searching for some sleep. This is the central square of Mapastepec, 70 miles north of the Mexico-Guatemala border. Their shoes are worn from the walk. Many have already been on the road for 500 miles. They've picked up friends along the way and take a quiet moment to themselves. 23-year-old Carla Cruz might keep in touch with her boyfriend back home in Honduras, but her hopes are northward in the U.S. She's brought only what she can carry and fills a bag that was her blanket. She jokes about her DIY bedding to beat the loneliness. They set off at 3 a.m. to beat the heat. Cruz knows these towns well. This is her 4th attempt to get to the U.S. She was detained on the U.S. border once and didn't even make it the other 3 times. But she says this time feels different.
Around the bend, there could be criminals waiting for you. You have to go around them. You have to go around immigration. But here we're going in a legal way. They are opening the doors to us and no one is stopping us. We're going in unison, together.
During the day, she rests in temporary shelters where infants wear their American icons and dreams around their necks. Cruz's dream is reunification. 15 years ago, her mother moved to Texas, leaving Cruz behind when she was just 8 years old.
You don't have the words to say it because you're also so young. So it's terrible how parents abandon their children for a better future. The truth is, I'll be content with just seeing my mom, even if it means I'll get deported. Well, after 15 years, don't you think I deserve a smile?
The caravan began in Honduras 2 weeks ago and quickly grew to 7,000. It shrunk to 4,000 after many chose to board buses that return them home. And while most of the migrants talk about hopes,
that's an assault.
Their critics talk about threats.
And in that caravan, you have some very bad people. You have some very bad people. And we can't let that happen to our country. We need a wall built fast.
Today in Colegico, California, workers finished a new section of that wall, inaugurated by Secretary of Homeland Security Kirstjen Nielsen. The administration is considering additional legal steps to block the caravan's progress and announced it will send 800 additional troops to the border in a support role.
We do not have any intention right now to shoot at people. They will be apprehended, however. But I also take my officer and agent their own personal safety extraordinarily seriously. They do have the ability, of course, to defend themselves.
But Raul Marquez says no U.S. policy will prevent him from walking north. He carries only what fits in his backpack and his hands. His son is 1 year old.
He's still too young.
Marquez says he lived in the U.S. until about 8 years ago, when he was deported after 2 DUIs. He says he was trying to rebuild his life in Guatemala until gangs killed his wife.
They told me that if I wasn't going to cooperate with them, that there was my son was going to be next, that they were going to cut his head off. So right when this was going on, that's when I heard about this caravan.
Guatemala and its neighbors are the most violent places on Earth outside of war zones. The migrants know the U.S. doesn't accept economic asylum cases, and so they admit they might have to try and cross illegally in smaller groups. Still, they have a message for President Trump.
I want to go see my mom. I want to get ahead. I want to maybe finish university. I want to maybe learn his language. And that he also understands that we're not criminals. We're people who want to better ourselves.
They still face a long journey that is physically and politically treacherous. But they say they take strength from their numbers and their hopes. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Nick Schifrin.